And we say good morning to you. We are broadcasting live, kicking off a brand new week. It's a race week at Bristol Motor Speedway, the Food City 500. We've been waiting all winter to tell you about that, and here we go. It's time to go racing. We'll tell you all about that coming up a little bit later on here on the shows. We do see race week right here upon us. The lads of NASCAR rolling in here. Kyle Busch with some momentum, having won Texas Motor Speedway yesterday, and so he'll bring an 18 ride to town. Of course, he dominates his track, and he picks up his 44th career win yesterday to tie him now with Hall of Famer Bill Elliott, Wild Bill from Dawsonville. So they're in the both tied in the all-time wins list with 44 W's. So it is race week. We'll be with you today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. Parking the show Friday. It's Bush's Beans Pole Day at the Speedway, and then Saturday and Sunday. So it's a busy week. It's an exciting week, and it's Bristol, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun. Some great racing coming to the world's last great Coliseum starting on Friday with Bush's Beans Pole Day. And, of course, lots going on with Speedway Children's Charity, so we'll tell you all about that coming up throughout the course of the show. We are live here again at B&H Well Strategies. Our dear friend Jeff Bingham is going to be along here in a little while, and we're going to be talking to him and also talking to Dr. Tom Rogers from Performance Medicine is going to join us. Josh Lawson will be here in a little while. He'll be with us on behalf of the Kingsport Mets. They're not that far away from starting baseball. Say, Tom, it's in June. I'm telling you, we're 60-some days to Christmas, so Appalachian League baseball is not that far away. We'll obviously talk about the Masters. NBA winds up the regular season on Wednesday. Playoffs start on Thursday in the NBA. National Hockey League starts Wednesday with their playoffs, so it's a busy time. Major League Baseball, of course, getting ready to get into their second full week. Daniel Norris had a great outing on Thursday, and so some big announcements coming out of the Detroit camp regarding Daniel Norris, which is good news for Dino, young man out of Johnson City. We'll tell you all about that. And so that's just some of the topics we'll talk about here in the next couple of hours, brought to you by some great folks like Food City and Sprint, B&H Well Strategies. I mean, the list goes on to the great folks that are on this show. Max Medicine Mart will be there tomorrow broadcasting live. Wednesday at Chick-fil-A, Thursday at Champion Chevrolet, parking the show on Friday, and back with you, of course, a week from today. And I'm not even sure where we're going to be a week from today. Where is it? Let me go ahead and tell you my magical. I'll be right up the street, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, coming up a week from today. So we've got up-and-coming shows the month of April. We're going to be at Phil's Dream Pit. We're going to be American Import and Auto Repair. We're going to be at Freddy's, our typical stops, and so we're very excited about all those locations. And so we're here today at B&H Well Strategies. We always tell you, as we say, we always dedicate our show to the man that hung on the cross. Today's verse to get us started, Romans 8:37, 38, and 39 says, "You can be a conqueror in all things through my love, for neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers will separate you from my love." There you go. So that is the verse of the day again here as we work our way through this Monday, April the 9th, 2018. We'll take a quick break, come right back. We've got winners to announce. How about that? We do have winners for the Food City 500 and the Fitzgerald Glider Kids 300. We got racing ticket qualifiers from 12 states. We put the names in the computer. They spit it out, or it spit it out, not they. It spit it out the computer, and we've got winners to announce coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll take a break. We'll be right back and tell you all about that right after you hear this from the good folks from Champion Chevrolet here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City's huge spring sale is in full swing. We have over 600 new Chevys to choose from with savings up to 20% off MSRP. 17 Silverado 1500, 20% off MSRP with over 200 in stock. 17 Silverado HD, 13% off MSRP. 2017 Equinox Trax in Malibu, 20% off MSRP. Don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours and shopping online 24/7. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Welcome to the Mini Morning News Show, where we are so excited about Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis for breakfast that we've minified the news.
In real estate news, tiny homes for those who like everything within arm's reach.
In culinary news, micro food, because, small plates.
In entertainment news, this year it's all about the mini-series.
In pop culture news, mini everything.
Because, aw. All right, thanks for listening. Now go put some mini in your morning with the chicken you love for breakfast. Chick-fil-A's Chicken Minis until 10:30 a.m.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
We're back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us again on this Monday, April the 9th, 2018. Here we go. Here's your ticket winners. We put them in the computer, and the computer spit them out. We've got 6 winners, 3 to win tickets to Food City 500, or have won, and 3 ticket winners to go to Saturday's Fitzgerald Glider Kids 300 doubleheader, along with the Zombie Auto 150. And so here are your winners. There we go. From the Food City 500, Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina, Mike Bear from Bluff City, Dolores Mosley from Jonesville, Virginia are your winners there for the Food City 500. And for the Saturday racing, Tina Williams from Williamsburg, Kentucky, Betty Perry from Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So those are your winners for tickets for this round of ticket giveaways. Of course, we'll do another round in the fall for the Bass Pro Shop NRA Night Race and the Food City 300. So, again, Kyle Bradley, Liberty, South Carolina, Mike Bear, Bluff City, Dolores Mosley from Jonesville, Virginia. Of course, you'll be notified via email. Your tickets will be in the Bruton Smith building. We'll tell you all about that. You'll get an email telling you that, detailing you that, of course. And then the Saturday race winners coming in to watch 450 laps of racing will be Tina Williams of Williamsburg, Kentucky, Betty Perry of Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And that would be your winners again for racing for this go-around. Thanks to everybody that, again, qualified. And so we've got more ticket giveaways coming up between now and race season. We got some Dollywood tickets will be given away and some other passes as well. So we're excited about that. And so we'll get through this race and get ready with another giveaway coming up here in the month of May. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Patrick Reed missed the memo. Maybe we all did. A Masters was to unfold between he and Rory McIlroy and Phil Mickelson and Sergio Garcia and Jordan Spieth and all these folks. And it never happened because Ricky Fowler's another name kicked around, but it was a 15 under 273 that shattered all those folks. And his first top 10 finish of the Masters also got him a green jacket as Patrick Reed wins the Masters yesterday. Some great golf down the stretch. Jordan Spieth, again, your top 5, Patrick Reed, Ricky Fowler, Jordan Spieth, Jon Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Cameron Smith, some of the folks there in the top 5. So the green jacket goes to the 15 under 273 total for Patrick Reed, who wins the Masters for 2018, which is pretty cool. And so congratulations to Patrick Reed winning the Masters. All right, so that's what's happening there. So they move on now to, I think they go to, gosh, I had that last night. I was looking at it. They go to Harbor Town, I think, next. I think so. Don't know so, but I think so. But anyway, hello to Bradley Purdy. Good morning to you. Hello to Betty Perry. Hello to Chad Fletcher. Appreciate you folks very much giving us a watch and listen. We're live at B&H Wealth Strategies here. Seems like to me it's dark in here, but maybe it's just me. Looks like it is on the screen, and so we'll have to go out today and get us some external lighting. So we get some of these darker locations, we'll have to brighten things up a little bit. So anyway, we say good morning to you. Thanks for being with us. Thanks again for all the qualifiers for the tickets. And again, one more time, our winners for the race will be Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina, Mike Bear from Bluff City, from Jonesville, Virginia, Dolores Mosley, from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Justin Swanson, from Elizabeth and Betty Perry, and from Williamsburg, Kentucky, Tina Williams. Those are your winners for the tickets. So we send in 3 folks to the Food City 500, excuse me, and 3 folks to the Fitzgerald Glider Kids 300, and also the Zombie Auto 150 at Bristol Motor Speedway. So we have a whole segment coming up about NASCAR. Let's take a look at NBA for just a second. Again, the National Basketball Association winding down. Another team has punched their ticket to get into the playoffs, which start on Thursday. So let's run down yesterday's finals. Goes like this. Boston wins by 14 at home over Atlanta. The Hawks just pitiful. They're 24-57. Also, you have Philadelphia, 12-point win over Dallas at home. Indiana goes to Charlotte and beats the Hornets by 6. Memphis with a 13-point win over Detroit. Toronto, one of the best teams in the NBA. Keep an eye on the Raptors when the playoffs start. 11 points better than Orlando at home. Utah goes on the road and beats the Lakers by 15 in L.A. And the defending world champion Golden State Warriors, they will finish up yesterday's game with a 17-point win over another hapless team, the Phoenix Suns. Bad. 20-61 they are on the season. Schedule today, Toronto at Detroit. Cavaliers in New York to battle the Rangers. Oklahoma City at Miami. Brooklyn playing host to Chicago. Memphis and Minnesota. Orlando and Milwaukee. My Spurs, San Antonio still trying to hang on to get a playoff spot, hosting Sacramento tonight. Portland will be at Denver, and the New Orleans Pelicans will be in LA to battle the Clippers. Again, the regular season ends on Wednesday. Playoffs start on Thursday. And so the teams are in with the Eastern Conference Finals. They're still jockeying as to who's going to win it as far as the seeding as well. But these 8 teams are in and in no particular, or there isn't a particular order, but you have to decide between now and tonight and tomorrow night and Wednesday who is going to be playing who. Toronto, Boston, Philadelphia, the Cavaliers, Indiana, Miami, Milwaukee, and Washington are the 8 teams in the Eastern Conference. And then in the Western Conference, you have Houston, Golden State, Portland, and Utah punched their ticket. They're in the playoffs now. What a turnaround. Hello, Steve McCauley. Good morning, my good friend. We'll be with him coming up at the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. We'll be with him coming up next month. His golf tournament. We'll have him on maybe Wednesday or Thursday this week and see if we can get him on to promote that FCA golf tournament. Love it. Had his shirt on the other day. Gave me a golf shirt. Looked sharp. I'll wear it today. He comes on the show. How's that? So, NBA, Houston, Golden State, Portland, Utah are in. You have 5 teams still playing for 4 spots in the West. Those 5 teams are New Orleans, San Antonio, Oklahoma City, Minnesota, and Denver. And so they'll decide again. The regular season ends on Wednesday. Playoffs start on Thursday, so tonight's ball game is very, very critical. In fact, in the West, you have head-to-head competition. You have, let's see, who is Denver hosting Portland tonight. That's huge for Denver to try and get in. Minnesota, who do they play tonight? Minnesota, the Timberwolves hosting Memphis. You have New Orleans at L.A. to battle the Clippers. The Clippers are out of it, but New Orleans still trying to get into the playoffs. The Clippers can play a spoiler role tonight. San Antonio playing again. They are hosting Sacramento. And Oklahoma City still trying to get in there in Miami to battle the Heat. So it is very, very critical the next couple of nights to just figure out who's going to get into the NBA playoffs coming up starting on Thursday. And again, just to look down the road, the NBA Finals will start on May the 31st. And so we'll see who's going to be there. National Hockey League done. The playoffs start on Wednesday. Your first set of games go as follows. The defending Stanley Cup champion, the Pittsburgh Penguins, will be hosting Philadelphia. Game 1 in Pittsburgh on Wednesday. Minnesota opens up in Winnipeg against the Jets. And the Vegas Golden Knights will be hosting the LA Kings. That's all on Wednesday. On Thursday, opening round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, the Nashville Predators, the number 1 team, and they are red hot. They'll drop the puck in Nashville at 9:30 on Thursday night against the Colorado Avalanche. Other games on Thursday to open up the playoffs. New Jersey skates at Tampa Bay with the best record in the National Hockey League. We're the Lightning this year. Toronto, the Maple Leafs, couple of storied rivalries, storied franchises. Toronto, the Maple Leafs will be in Boston to skate against the Bruins starting on Thursday. Columbus, the Blue Jackets, will be opening up in Washington against the Capitals. And the San Jose Sharks will be in Anaheim against the Ducks. As we said, Nashville hosting Colorado. Game 1 of their series coming up on Thursday night. Dropping the puck at 9:30. We'll talk to Carmichael about that later on this week to get his take on what's going on there with the Predators, and can they bring home the Stanley Cup championship this year after being a runner-up a year ago. If you're a ping pong person or table tennis person, their first ever Tri-Cities table tennis tournament starting this weekend. Participants are guaranteed to play in 5 pool games and then single elimination. Love me some ping pong. Never have time to play it anymore, but at one point could do it pretty good back in the day. I take that paddle and put a little mojo on it, a little spin on it, and it would hit and bounce off the table, make people mad. My brother and I, there were many, many times we were throwing ping pong paddles at each other, and then we had tensions would escalate into usually a fight between one of my 4 brothers or 3 brothers. And so some great memories of playing ping pong, or they call it table tennis. Anyway, it's coming up again the 13th, 14th, and 15th this week. Again, if you're interested in being a part of that, we would Hello, Miss Beulah, watching. Thank you, young lady. She's waving at me. I'll wave back at you. Hello, Miss Beulah Pendleton. Again, the event coming up April 13th through the 15th. If you're interested, call 461-8830 to get in the table tennis tournament in Johnson City at Carver Rec. And so that'll be coming up this weekend. And they got different $20 fee to get in, and there's different categories. There's kids, there's a men and women's age 20 to 48, and seniors, and then 50 plus. So there you go. You can find out more by calling 461-8830. Play a little ping pong, put a little mojo on it, put a little curve on it. So it'd be good stuff. Back in the day, I was pretty bad ping pong, bad being a good thing. I was pretty tough ping pong player back in the day. That was in, this is now. Tom Taylor Sports Show. Again, we are live on the road at B&H Wealth Strategies in Kingsport. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, I'm going to be joined by Josh Lawson from the Kingsport Mets. Looking very much forward to visiting with Josh, see what's going on with KMET baseball. With that, we'll take a break. Come right back. We'll do our baseball segment, see what's going on in Major League Baseball. Later on to the show, we'll go to the top of the hour. Mike Hedrick, he'll join us live from Northern Virginia on the Tom Taylor Sports Show, talking about a big race weekend. Kyle Busch brings home the checkers in the Cup Series. Ryan Blaney, one of the young guns, winning the race again on Saturday in the Xfinity Series race. And so there you go. We'll talk about that. We got some other winners, got some basket winners. Oh, this is from the March Madness. Perfect. Okay, that we did back in Middleview a couple of weeks back. Ryan Blaney winning the Xfinity Series race down in Texas, and Kyle Busch winning the Cup race in Texas. So those guys will be coming to town with a head of steam for sure. The Dash for Cash is up and running now for the Xfinity drivers. Somebody's going to win $100,000 out of the top 4 finishers at the Xfinity race over the weekend. So we'll leave all that to Mike Hedrick, top of the hour. Again, our NASCAR reporter, the NASCAR fans reporter. Mike also went over the edge up there Saturday. We had the opportunity and the privilege to MC that event. We had, I don't know how many folks ended up going over, but we had, 2 at a time. We probably did 20, 25 on my shift, and then I gave it away to a young lady, and she finished doing the announcing at 12 o'clock. But Mike Hedrick was one of the guys. He went down the same time as Executive Vice President and General Manager Jerry Caldwell went down as well, down over the edge, 10 stories up. So here's something pretty cool, too, before we go to the break. When you drive by Bristol Motor Speedway and you see it, the iconic tower, it says Bristol down the front. Interesting statistic. A young lady told me that, hello, Rob Fritz, from the Bristol YWCA. Each one of those letters are 14 feet tall. That tells you how big that place is. And so they came down the side of this 200-foot, 10-story, the iconic Bristol Tower for charity. And they did it for Speedway Children's Charities, and they also did it, of course, for the Bristol YWCA. Neat stuff. And so we salute all those folks, and Mike Hedrick was one of those. He's going to tell us all about it, his experience, and then he was blessed with a very nice thing to say. There we go. Why don't we use that one? That's a better, that's much better camera. Dawn would be proud of me for doing it this way. Dawn's kind of our IT lady, and she'd say, that's much better. We'll fix the backdrop here in just a second. But anyway, we'll take a break. We're here live at B&H Wealth Strategies. Josh Lawson due to join us from the Kingsport Mets, and we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back, and we will find out what's going on in Major League Baseball from yesterday. We'll do that right after you hear this from one of our great sponsors. That would be the folks that are closed today, ready to be open and ready to go tomorrow. That would be the good folks from, actually, we'll take this break first. Fellowship of Christian Athletes and Jim Klein Farmers Insurance here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City's huge spring sale is in full swing. We have over 600 new Chevys to choose from with savings up to 20% off MSRP. 17 Silverado 1500, 20% off MSRP with over 200 in stock. 17 Silverado HD, 13% off MSRP. 2017 Equinox Trax and Malibu, 20% off MSRP. Don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours and shopping online 24/7. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
Back to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us. We are live again here at B&H Wealth Strategies again on this beautiful Monday morning. Beautiful because we fix that right there, and we're just we do this as we go, folks. There we go. That's a little bit better. He's here. Mr. Lawson's in the house. Very good. Bring him in here. We'll get him to sit down and just relax for a minute. We'll get him on screen. Coming up here in just a minute. Come on in here, my friend. Let's run down Major League Baseball real quick and let you know what happened yesterday in the bigs. And, of course, I would think he'll be very happy. Yep, they swept the Nationals. Mets beat them in 12, 6-5. Other winners, Baltimore, other winners, I should say. Red Sox beat the Rays. Indians over the Royals. Marlins double up the Phillies 6-3. Pirates beat the Reds, 5-0. That's not really all that big of a surprise. Reds, they won one and came back down to earth. They're not a very good baseball team. Also, you have, let's see, that's up too high. There we go. My big fat thing got in the way. I'm sorry. I'm just country, folks. I'm just telling you. This is April Lawson's watching. You know April Lawson?
I do know her. I do.
You know her?
Yeah, I do.
Well, she's watching the show. So hello, Mrs. Lawson. We'll have Josh in just a second. Pirates blanked the Reds 5-0. Astros over the Padres 4-1. Cubs beat the Brewers 3-0. Tigers won. White Sox 0. Diamondbacks beat the Cardinals 4-1. Had a little skirmish between manager of the Diamondbacks and Molina, the catcher for the Cardinals. Got in a little rhubarb there behind home plate. Blue Jays over the Rangers 7-4. Braves blanked the Rockies 4-0. Dodgers beat the Giants in 10, 2-1. Angels 6, A's 1. The Mets, as we said, sweeping the Nationals. That's huge. 6-5 and 12 for the Mets. And the Mariners in Minnesota postponed due to the weather. A couple of notes coming up because of yesterday's action. Let me tell you a couple of stories real quick. One of those, Shohei Ohtani made his first home start for the Angels on Sunday, and boy, it was a good one. Ohtani took a perfect game into the seventh inning and finished with 12 strikeouts over 7 shutout innings. Great start for Ohtani, both at the plate and, of course, on the mound. This young man coming over from Japan. Angels signed him in the offseason for big bucks, and so far he's living up to the paycheck. A guy who's not. The Phillies received some preseason buzz as they pick up veteran right-hander Jake Arrieta. 3-year, $75 million contract less than a month ago. Trying to get up to speed, made a pair of spring training appearances, then worked a simulated game on Monday. Again, he started yesterday and did not have a good outing, to say the least. So he got shelled pretty good. 3-run first inning from Miami, which he worked Arrieta for 31 pitches. Right-hander wound up settling down, but it was hardly an optimal debut with his new club. Went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of those earned, struck out 5, walked 2. Not what you want from a guy that you're paying $75 million for over 3 years, or $25 million a season. So not a good day for Jake Arrieta, but hey, hello Jeff Bingham. He's watching. Will be one of the guys we got coming up here in just a few minutes because we're at his place, B&H Wealth Strategies. Jamison Talion, and I've heard of Talion and Talon, blanking the Reds on Sunday, and doing so registered the first complete game of his career. It was a one-hitter, and so anyway, this guy strikes out 7, walks a pair. Reds are not a very good team, and so anyway, big win for the Pirates yesterday to wrap up that series as they get a one-hitter from Talion, and so they win. As we said, the bench is clear in St. Louis. The Diamondbacks and the Cardinals, between manager Torey Lovullo Lavallo, and Yadier Molina, the longtime veteran catcher of the Cardinals, got mixed up a little bit behind home plate, and so they had some words, and the umpire had to jump in and separate them, which is kind of unusual for a manager and a catcher to get mixed up. So, and then last but not least, Jan Gomes, the walk-off home run for the Indians to do it against the Royals yesterday. So that kind of wraps up in a nutshell what happened in Major League Baseball. Standing starting this week in the American League. Boston on top, 2.5 games better than Toronto. They're 8-1. Central Division leader right now by half a game are the Minnesota Twins at 4-3. The West Division leader are the defending world champion Houston Astros at 8-2. They're a game better than the LA Angels. Keep an eye on the Angels. I'm telling you, they're going to be. I said it in the off season, in the preseason, and I think they're going to be a team to be reckoned with in the West, probably more so than Seattle. Some other buddies have said no, Seattle's going to do it, and I'm going to go with Angels. I love Albert Pujols, and I'm going to ride with the Angels, and I think they're going to make some noise in the West. In the National League, yes, Mr. Lawson's grinning like a fox in a hen house.
7-1.
7-1. A game and a half out of Atlanta. Central Division, the Pirates 2 games better than Chicago in the Central. In the West, Arizona leading Colorado and San Francisco, each by 2.5. Dodgers now still underperforming, in my humble opinion. They're 3-6, but it's a long, long season. Baseball today, Pirates in Chicago at Wrigley. These are day games, or one-day game. Night game, Atlanta and Washington. Reds will go to Philadelphia. Milwaukee at St. Louis. The Mets take to the highway. Syndergaard on the mound in Miami tonight at 7:10 first pitch against Jose Urena. San Diego at Colorado, and Arizona will be at San Francisco. In the American League, one-day game. Tampa Bay and Chicago against the White Sox. Tonight under the lights, Detroit at Cleveland. Toronto at Baltimore. The Angels in Texas. Houston, Minnesota, and Seattle battling the Kansas City Royals. That's your Major League Baseball schedule. And finally, the big league update. Daniel Norris thought he was going to go to the AAA Toledo Ball Club for Detroit. Not going to be the case. He's going to stay around, which is awesome. He will stay on the 25-man roster. He will not be sent down. I thought he would because Mike Fears came back, but Dino came out of the bullpen on Thursday against Chicago, faced 13 batters in 3 1/3 innings, gave up only a hit, 1 earned run, walked 2, and struck out 6 of the 13 batters he faced. That's pretty good batting. That's almost, that is 50%.
Yeah, I absolutely like having one of those guys in their bullpen. Like
You got that. So Norris is going to stick around maybe as a long reliever and possibly a starter if Fears doesn't continue to do well. So, again, good news for Daniel Norris, the relief pitcher for Detroit out of Johnson City Science Hill High School. So that's your big league update. That's what's going on in Major League Baseball. We're live here again at B&H Wealth Strategies. Here are your ticket winners. We'll bring him in and get him started talking baseball. It is your Food City 500 winners, Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina, Mike Bear from Bluff City, from Jonesville, Virginia, Dolores Mosley. Your Saturday ticket winners, Tina Williams from Williamsburg, Kentucky, Betty Perry from Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So thanks to everybody at 12 states represented. We've got some tickets going to be given away starting in May we got some going to Dollywood. We've got some other things going to be given away that not necessarily sports, but just a chance to some family fun and some family entertainment. I think we got some tickets to go see the Reds. So at that point, I would think you could get some pretty good seats at Great American Ballpark.
Depends on who they're playing.
For the Reds, yeah, because I think, it's going to be a long year for Cincinnati. So, but we got some folks at WLW in Cincinnati, so we're going to give you some tickets to give away, and that's exciting. So, anyway, thanks to all the folks who have qualified for the race tickets. If you didn't win, I'm sorry. If you did win, congratulations. And so we'll wipe the slate clean and start over with another contest right after the race. And so thanks to the folks for that. We are joined by our buddy, again, Josh Lawson from the Kingsport Mets. Let's get him in here real quick and let him visit with us for a little while. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. Doing great. How are you doing?
Good. And so you're very excited, obviously, because your ball club out of the gate 7-1. And what's been the key so far?
7 pitching, and they just makes me feel good because they just went up against the Nationals and took the series from them, and so far so good on health and everything. Conforto came back pretty strong. We've got some guys in AAA knocking on the door, but there's just no room for them right now, and so feeling really good about the season. I know it's really early on. I know the Braves obviously are having a really, really good year, so can't take much from that. And so it's a long season. They got to stay healthy. Again, like you said, we got Syndergaard going tonight in Miami, and so Syndergaard's the ace of the staff. He's looked really good, and just keep it up. Keep up the hitting, keep up the defense and everything. I know I was watching the game yesterday, and looked like the Nationals could have tied it up there at the end with a bad throw from Frazier over to Gonzalez, and Gonzalez did what he did, and he's Gold Glover and swept it up, and they took the game from him. So
there you go.
Yeah,
we'll take it, right?
Exactly.
You sweep the Nationals, who a lot of folks felt like was going to be the preseason favorite to win the East, and you sweep the Nationals. Obviously, you've done something.
Yeah. Again, it's still early on. I know the Pirates are having a really, really good season, but whenever you've got a pitching staff like we have, when you got an offense like we have, and you got guys that can play the field like we have, you feel really good about it.
You surprised Arrieta did not do well yesterday?
No, some pitchers start off slow, some of them start off hot. It's hard to take anything from one start, and you definitely can't take anything from spring training. Arrieta has proved over the past few years that he's an ace at any ball club. He's a Cy Young Award winner, and so I think just give him a little bit of time. He's adjusting to a new city. Philadelphia is not easy to pitch in. Especially that ballpark, it gives up quite a few long balls, and so I think Arrieta will make the adjustments. He's a veteran pitcher, so yeah, he'll be all right.
Our weather certainly has been iffy here in the Tri-Cities and East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia, so it's pretty much been the same for Major League Baseball. You've had Detroit with cancellations. Another one canceled yesterday in Minnesota. You've got a series starting tonight in Chicago where it's still very, very cold and snowing and wintry weather up there. So I would think these pitchers, I'm like you, they start slow. Weather definitely affects pitchers more than anybody else. Right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. I know both Chicago games, the White Sox and the Cubs, is day games today, but it's snowing. There's snow on the field, so I don't know if they're going to get those games in. And I know it's kind of a big controversy right now. I think Trevor Bauer for the Cleveland Indians came out yesterday and spoke out against Rod Manfred and didn't like that, he's given pitchers only so amount of time to warm up between innings. And, I believe like he does that, cold weather like this, guys need extra time to be able to get loose. And especially if you have a long inning, and the guys sit in the dugout for a long period of time and their arm gets cold, it just makes sense. These guys, they're very fickle kind of people. And so, you got to give them time to warm up, get them ready to get on the mound. And if that takes extra time, if that takes 5 minutes to keep a guy from getting injured, I don't see what the issue would be in it.
There you go. Because long term, it doesn't do any good to have one of your stars on the DL because of a cold arm or hurting his arm in cold weather. Right?
No, especially with us. We've had the experience over the past couple seasons, and so luckily the guys are in Miami tonight, which is not too far from where we train in Port St. Lucie, Florida. So they're used to pitching in that Florida heat. Of course, I know the game's indoors in Miami, but I'm just glad the guys are in Florida for a few days. And I think we got Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Harvey going. So that's a tough line.
Pretty good threesome.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Hello, Johnny Phillips watching the show. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that very much. We are live again at B&H Wealth Strategies. Jeff's going to join us coming up here in a minute. Jeff Bingham. We're talking again to Josh Lawson with the Kingsport Mets, and I appreciate him coming in on short notice. He said, yeah, I'd love to come over and talk about the King Mets. Before we get into the Kingsport Mets in particular, Tebow continues to make some noise.
It's amazing. I was looking at something the other day. Every level he started out at, whether he started in Instructs in Port St. Lucie, the first at bat he had in Columbia, the first at bat he had in St. Lucie, now the first at bat he had in Binghamton, home run. That's just determination by him, and God got his hand on him. So, the guy's making a splash. He's making an impact, both in the game and outside the game, and so that's good to see.
So every place he's been?
Every place he's been, every step along the way, which, our guys take steps along the way, whether it's, Tebow started out in Instructs in Florida when we signed him in the fall of 2016, I guess it was. And then he started his career in Columbia last season, then moved up to Port St. Lucie for the St. Lucie Mets, and then started this year in Binghamton. And each step along the way, his very first official at-bat, he home run.
Wow. Yeah. Went deep. Hit the long ball.
Yeah.
You met the guy. He's ripped and buff.
He's ripped. He's buff. He's an athlete from top to bottom, but most importantly, inside out, he's a great Christian guy. Mm-hmm. And so, I think that to me, I know it holds a lot more weight than the guy being really good on the field. Of course, that helps, but he impacts the players around him. on a personal basis. And so that's what these guys need. A lot of people think, you see the on-field performance and everything like that, but working in baseball, I get to see these guys off the field and see the struggles that they deal with, being away from home or the temptations that are there on the road. When you have somebody like Tim Tebow out there kind of leading them and guiding them and setting an example for them, that's what these guys need, and a big part of these players' development is the mental development, is their maturity along the way. And I think that's one of the big reasons the New York Mets signed him.
We're talking to Josh Lawson. Again, we're live here at B&H Wealth Strategies on Center Street in Kingsport. Again, 247-1152, the number to call. Jessica will join us coming up here in a few minutes. The El Presidente of B&H Wealth Strategies and his fantastic staff of Kathy and Nancy and Sherry and Jake. And so he'll be talking to us. Dr. Tom Rogers joins us a little bit later on, too, with Performance Medicine. He was with us last month. And, again, he is partnering with the folks here with B&H Wealth Strategies. We'll let him tell you all about that. Also, Mike Hedrick joins us at the top of the hour. Give us an update on NASCAR. Kyle Busch brings home the checkers. We head off to Bristol Motor Speedway this weekend for the running on Saturday of the Xfinity Series. Eric Jones back in to defend his crown. Ryan Blaney won the race Saturday in Texas, so he'll come down with some momentum in the Xfinity Series. And then, of course, Jimmy Johnson, now up to 30 races, trying to win. He hasn't won for a long, long time, and so won this race a year ago, the Food City 500, and I know he's chomping to get to Bristol because he did not have a good day yesterday, and Rick Hendrick's not having a really good day or a good year, really, as a team. So Stewart Haas Racing, still the team, the hottest team in NASCAR. Penske, we'll talk more about this in a moment, but you got Logano and Keselowski and Ryan Blaney and Team Penske, and very consistent, very solid. And, of course, Joe Gibbs. What I loved yesterday, when Kyle Busch was doing his burnout on the front stretch, they did a shot to the pit crew, and guess what Joe Gibbs was doing? Had him circled up praying.
Oh, yeah. Coach Gibbs, he's
I love
another
Gibbs.
Great man there, yeah.
Yes, love him. He is he puts the Lord first in everything he does, and the proof's in the pudding. We're talking to Josh Lawson, who also does the same, but he's here to do a little pitch. What's going on in the K-Mets since we last visited? I'm sure you're nailing down more sponsors and more nights at the ballpark.
Yeah, and nailing down more sponsors, more nights at the ballpark. We got, putting together all of our promotions. It's all coming together really well. We had a good week last week. We got an exciting announcement coming up on one of our giveaways, and so we're kind of dipping back into history, 1974, to kind of honor a player that we had come through here in 74. And so we're really excited about this season coming up. And so, it's, Oliver's, now's the time of year we get to go out and meet with all of our sponsors and kind of spend some time with them and then bring in a few new partners along the way and, talk about the upcoming season and throw around some ideals. And it's funny because when Brian and I started out doing this in 2013, it was kind of us going out and pitching a lot of ideals to some sponsors, and now it's got to the point where a lot of our partners come on board and say, "Hey, I've got an idea about doing this year," and so we kind of it's just a really fun time. We kind of let the creative juices start flowing a little bit, and doing some interviews. We've got some interns coming in for the summer working for us, and so we've been doing a lot of those interviews. And so right now is the time to set up for 2018, the summer of 2018. And then once June gets here, we kind of switch into player mode, and all the work we've done in these months just kind of comes into effect, and we just kind of watch what we put together kind of come to fruition during those months.
Absolutely. Now, for the folks out there, we know the Appalachian League starts in mid-June.
Mm-hmm.
Where are the future Kingsport Mets right now?
The majority of those guys are in extended spring training. Once the Major League spring training breaks, about a week later, all your minor leagues for us, which is Las Vegas, Binghamton, St. Lucie, Columbia, they break, and then the guys stay behind, play some what's called Gulf Coast League games or inter-squad games, and then we get some of those guys here, but then we also get quite a few guys from the upcoming June draft. And so, those guys are coming out of high school or college. And so, really, their 2018 Kingsport Mets is unknown right now, and they're kind of scattered literally throughout the world.
Sure.
So, around the 1st of June, it starts kind of coming together, and we have an idea of who we're going to get.
Step us through again the system. You start in rookie, and give me the steps they have to get to New York.
Yeah, so if you're a kid that you sign coming out of high school, chances are you're going to go to either the Gulf Coast League, which is in Florida in Port St. Lucie, Then you're going to come to us in Kingsport. Then the next step up is short season Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Cyclones. And then our first full A team is the Columbia Fireflies. They're full season. They're considered low A in the Sal League. And then you'll move up to St. Lucie Mets, which is in Port St. Lucie, Florida, in the Florida State League. Then you move up to Binghamton to the Rumble Ponies, where Tebow's at right now. That's our Double A team. And then Triple A is in Las Vegas with the Las Vegas 51s.
And then from there,
and then to New York. But some guys will make the jump from Double A to New York. Some guys, very rare cases will make the jump from Port St. Lucie to New York. So Triple A is more of a kind of a waiting area for guys that have been to the major leagues and may not be quite as good to play every day in the major leagues. But an injury occurs in New York, we'll yell down to Triple A and they'll send up an infielder or whatever we need down there.
Well, your giveaway nights, you were talking to Josh Lawson, the Kingsport Mets, and your giveaway nights, is it still hold true? Because I've read, and we talked about this last time you were here, the number one giveaway fans want are bobblehead dolls, and so does that hold true with the Mets too?
Yeah, it does. Bobbleheads, the big thing in minor league baseball, started a few years ago, and we try to get creative. Obviously, our T-shirts, our hats, any kind of little trinkets you give away at the gate is really popular, but we consider our premium giveaways a bobblehead, a T-shirt, and a hat. So, that's interesting you look out throughout minor league baseball, and that's what Brown and I do. Right now all the full season teams already released their promotional schedules, so we'll take a look at the Smokies, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, Durham Bulls, something like that, and see what they've got going, and maybe even either steal an ideal or take an ideal and kind of make it our own.
Your Kingsport Met fan base, it's based in Kingsport, but geographically, you have folks coming in from a long way, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We have quite a large season ticket population from Hawkins County. We have some from over in Gate City and as far up as Wise. We're the only team literally from, if you look up toward Bristol, from Bristol this way, all the way down to really Jefferson City. Then you're kind of getting into the Smokies territory down there, but Morristown, Rogersville, Sigornsville, Churchill, Mount Carmel, all those are kind of our area, and then even into Southwest Virginia as well too.
Working very, very hard. This guy gets after it, and you've been there 5 years, is that right?
Yeah, since 2013. I started the 2013 season, and so going in, this is actually going to be my 6th season working for the Mets, and so it doesn't feel like it. It feels like it's went by fairly fast, and we know now that we've been around for a while when we start seeing some of our guys that played for us in 2013, 2014 making their major league debuts like they did last year. So.
Neat stuff. I did not realize you've been there 5 years.
Yeah.
Time flies.
Time does fly, yeah.
I remember when you first started, and I think I had you on the show like pretty early on.
Yeah.
And you were coming to the Food City shows, and so good stuff. So if someone out there wants to get involved in KMET baseball, you can get creative as far as a sponsorship opportunity. How many folks clicked the turnstiles last year, ballpark number?
Yeah, we actually average about 1,000 fans a game. So we have 34 home games, so around 34,000 fans. Some nights more than that, some nights less than that, and so it equals out to about 1,000 fans a game.
Yeah, so look up there and petition. Tell them what you want to tell them about getting involved in KMET.
Absolutely. Just give us a call whether it's a small group, whether you want to do a barbecue, whether you want to bring your family out or your church group, youth group, whatever it is. We have packages that that work for you, and so just give us a call at 224-2626, or you can email us at info@kmets, and we'll kind of get you set for the season.
There you go. Great report, man.
Thanks, Tom.
Congratulations, and say hello to your lovely bride, would you?
Hello, April. I know she's watched. She always does.
Oh, baby, it's Elvis. That was terrible. That was terrible. I'm not even close. Every time I do that, people say, please don't do it anymore because you don't sound like Elvis. You may think you do, but you don't. So I'm not going to do it anymore. That was the last time I'm doing Elvis because it sounds like I'm a dweeb. So anyway, we'll take a quick break. We'll come right back. You're welcome anytime, man.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Quick break. We'll be right back. We are live at B&H Wealth Strategies. Jeff's due to join us in a few minutes. Top of the hour, we'll check in on NASCAR. Kyle Busch brings home the checkers. 3 straight third-place finishes? And Rowdy brings them home. Yesterday gets the proverbial pistols and the cowboy hat to wear in Victory Lane. Had his kid down there with him, and Mama was there, and so it was a big day for Joe Gibbs Racing and Kyle Busch. And so they'll bring the show to Bristol Motor Speedway. With that win, that's his 44th career win. That ties him now on the all-time wins list with a guy that's pretty good back in the day, Wild Bill from Dawsonville, Bill Elliott. And so we appreciate him very much. And so Chad Fletcher says, K-Mets night at the races at Kingsport Speedway. There you go. You guys have K-Mets night at the races?
We partnered up with Bill Patrick last year, and I think we're going to do it again this year. So.
There you go. That's a great combo. That's a win-win. Kingsport, quality of life racing, and minor league baseball.
Absolutely.
That's two winners. Quick break. We'll be right back. We're live here again at B&H Wealth Strategies. Tomorrow we'll be at Mike's Medicine Mart right up the street. Wednesday we'll be at Chick-fil-A in Johnson City. Thursday, Champion Chevrolet in Johnson City. Then Friday, we'll park it and be up at Bush's Beans Pole Day doing some track announcing at the world's last great Coliseum.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City's huge spring sale is in full swing. We have over 600 new Chevys to choose from with savings up to 20% off MSRP. 17 Silverado 1500, 20% off MSRP with over 200 in stock. 17 Silverado HD, 13% off MSRP. 2017 Equinox Trax and Malibu, 20% off MSRP. Don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours and shopping online 24/7. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
We're back at the Tom Davis Sports Show. Let's run down again those winners one more time. Congratulations. Again, 12 states represented in the giveaway, and so we threw all the names in the computer, and it spit out Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina, Mike Bear from Bluff City, from Jonesville, Virginia, Dolores Mosley. Those are your winners for the Food City 500, for the Fitzgerald Rider Kits 300, the Xfinity Series race, and the, the Zombie Auto 150. That'll be the doubleheader, 450 laps on Saturday. Tina Williams from Williamsburg, Kentucky. Betty Perry from Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So thanks to all the folks who qualified. Appreciate that very much. In 12 states represented, and so good stuff. There we go. Look at him on screen.
Oh, there he is.
We've kind of centered up a little bit, haven't we?
I think we're done. We've done
Peachy.
well.
Peachy. Let's get.
Let's do the props. Not bad at all.
No. There we go. So we're in, and this is the beauty of the B&H Wealth Strategies. We're in the conference room, which you can see the fireplace. This is a home here on Center Street in Kingsport, a house or a home that has been obviously transitioned into a office, the home of B&H Wealth Strategies. So it's that cozy, comfy feeling. And right when we went on the show, there was a couple came in and said, we want to see Jeff. And so they made an appointment. So there you go. And it was looked like, I don't know who they were, but it looked like probably a couple in their maybe 20s wanted to sit down and do some financial planning. Which is
20s, maybe early 30s. Actually, it was a call that I got earlier this morning. This is kind of how this business works. A call from a lawyer friend of mine, and had a situation going on, and they had been in his office, and he called me and asked me a couple of questions, and they needed some answers, and so they came down here right straight from his office and made an appointment here with me. So it's good to have friends and be able to network. And it's good to be able to, we use the Jack Reacher expression around here. You see a problem, you solve a problem. So they've got one, and we're going to try to solve it for them. So
you just never know. So we're going to Jack Reacher. Was that Tom Cruise? Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. Yeah. It's a book, a series of books too.
Yeah. Have you watched the movies?
Yes. But the Jack Reacher in the book is unlike Tom Cruise. He's about 6'5", about 240, just kind of big fella. Unlike Cruise, who is he's cool, but he's not a real
5'10". Yeah, little fella.
At best.
At best. But so Jack Reacher's a bad dude.
Jack Reacher's a bad dude.
How do we get into Jack Reacher?
Yeah.
It's good.
See a problem, solve a problem.
That's it. See a problem, solve a problem. So you're a major golf guy, obviously. So give me your take on how things transpired at the Masters over the weekend. Reed did it, huh?
Yeah, Patrick Reed, for those, I guess you probably talked about it already. Patrick Reed won his first major of his career and won the Masters yesterday. And for those that know a little bit about golf, or those that don't, pretty interesting story. I mean, Reed went to the University of Georgia and bombed out after a semester there. He's a pretty brash, if you know the story about him, he's very brash, some might call arrogant, but he's kind of an in-your-face kind of golfer, which works for him. I mean, he's obviously accomplished. And he was going to, when he signed at Georgia, but he got into some trouble there, met the golf coach at Augusta State who persuaded him to come there, and they actually won 2 NCAA championships when he was at Augusta State, a very, not a real herald golf school. Not many people have heard about it, but he won 2 NCAA championships there, and beat Georgia his second year by the way, to win the NCAA championship there, which is kind of interesting. So, not from Augusta, but played golf at Augusta State, and obviously the Masters is at Augusta National, and so I think watched him. He was pretty steely down the stretch, hit the shots that he needed to, held off a furious charge, obviously, who was several groups, probably an hour, I guess, at least in front of, maybe more than that, of Reed. Yesterday, Jordan Spieth, who most golfers and even those kind of casual golf fans would know who Jordan Spieth is, who shot 64 yesterday. Got himself tied for the lead, I believe, at one time. Ended up finishing 2 back, and Ricky Fowler birdied 18 to get to 14 under and put some heat on Reed. But again, fell one short. And probably the 2 popular choices, I guess, probably 3 popular choices to win the golf tournament yesterday would have been Fowler, Spieth, and probably McIlroy, even if you kind of heard the crowd roars and whatnot. And that's kind of where Reed is now. We talked a little bit about off the air. Reed's a guy that. In the Ryder Cup, when it's USA, when it's red, white, and blue, and
we're for him,
and he's brash and arrogant, and he's beaten. He whooped up on McIlroy a couple of years ago at the Ryder Cup across the pond over there when it was tight and it was noisy, and Reed was just in, and McIlroy, but they were both playing phenomenal golf, and Reed was just kind of in. They were both in each other's face, but Reed was giving the let's hear it from the crowd kind of thing,
working it.
And working it against him, and on foreign soil doing it, which is really cool to see if you really think about it. So, you got to have a little, and you got to have a little something and be able to back it up when you do that, and he does. So, congratulations to him. It was, as always, it was a great golf tournament to watch. It's we talked a little bit about Tiger Woods off the air. It was for me as a golf fan, even I think casual golf fans. I mean, Tiger is as I referred to him. I mean, he moves the needle. He's the straw that stirs the drink. So the interest in the Masters this year, I think, was probably even elevated because of that. He shot 69 yesterday, so he shot his first sub 70 round in a major in a long time. Which is encouraging for golf fans, and I think if he gets in the mix, kind of going forward towards the U.S. Open, my guess is the next time you'll see him play, I think he said he was going to shut it down for a little bit. I would say he'll play probably the Tournament Players, the TPC, and then probably play at Jack's place at Muirfield, which, by the way, I have the opportunity to go to this year, which is kind of a bucket list thing for me. I got invited to go up there and watch that, which is the week after Memorial Day, or starts the Thursday after Memorial Day, so which should be pretty cool, and to get a chance to see Mr. Woods and Mr. Nicklaus's place, and should be quite a treat, actually.
Oh, it's awesome, yeah. Dublin, Ohio, right outside of Columbus.
Right.
We're talking to our buddy again, Jeff Bingham, from the president of B&H Wealth Strategies. So back to golf. I've never been there. I don't play. But I would think, I'm trying to put myself in these guys' shoes, a lot of pressure, a lot of stress. Every putt, every drive, everything is, you're under a microscope. So if you screw it up, then there's no place to hide. So I would think there's a lot of probably built-in stress to perform well within yourself as a competitor, just having a gallery full of people. And so I would think, again, to put that green jacket on, you've really done something.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what it is at the end of the day. It is being able to control the nerves, the emotions, and the bad things that happen to you on the golf course. I mean, even, when for those that play golf, on any kind of regular basis, and even some of us that are halfway decent, I mean, it's you can't hide from it. I mean, unlike, it's just you and the ball's not moving, and it's you just got to hit it, and you got to go find it, and you got to hit it again, and you're trying to get it in the hole in as short a time, in as few strokes as possible, from A to B, and when you get to someplace like Augusta and you're playing for a major, and I would argue that certainly for Americans, probably the major, maybe for most people around the globe, I guess the Europeans would probably say the British Open, but neither here nor there. I mean, just pressure out the wazoo. I mean, the green speeds there are phenomenal. So it just all mistakes are magnified. And really trying to control, from the first tee to the 18th green, the first tee you're trying to get the ball on the tee without your hand shaking so much that you can't do it, and hoping you make contact with it the first hole. And then when you're going down the stretch like Reed, I mean, he's got on 17 and 18, and he had, had 3 and 4 footers that had to make to win, to stay in the lead, I guess, on 17. And then the putt to win on 18, 3 feet, give or take, maybe 2.5. And I can assure you that when he marked that ball, his hand wasn't as steady as he would have liked it to have been, and that hole was a little smaller than the 6.5-inch diameter that it is. So that'd just be my guess. I mean, from playing a little bit. And he knocked it right in the back of the hole. I mean, we're proud to him. That was awesome.
As your late father would say, probably without question, a little tight. So that, again, not playing golf, you went to the mountaintop. When you win the Masters, I mean, I know the U.S. Open would probably argue that, the British Open would argue that, but this is it.
It's the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
To have a green jacket, to be able to go there for the rest of your life and that place, no question.
So what is that, when you win, again, I'm asking Forrest Gump questions, but I don't play golf, so when you win that green jacket, does that put you in there? I mean, you got a free pass the rest of your career?
You go there and you get to go into the clubhouse. You've got a green jacket like the members do. So
yeah.
And again, obviously, you go to the champions locker room where there's only a few that are going in the champions locker room, and I mean, it's I've got a friend of mine that's it really is. It's almost impossible to get on there. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you get invited to be a member there, regardless of wealth and stature.
Throw it out the window.
Doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't hurt. I mean, to maybe get an invitation, but you can throw money at it, and unless they invite you, you ain't getting in. And so, at Augusta, so it's that kind of place. Whether you like that or not, I mean, that's that's another conversation that one could have. So I don't want to come off that way here on the air, but that's what it does have, and it has this for golfers. It has this unbelievable mystique. I've been there a couple of times. I went there with my dad. years ago, and was able to go and watch a couple of days of the tournament down there with him, which was just a fabulous treat. And it is the most. First time I went was in 1984 with a friend of mine, and literally, I'd been watching it forever and been playing golf, my whole life. And walked into it. It's like walking into a picture book. I mean, it is the most spectacular place I've ever seen in my life. It still is to this day. I would still say that. I mean, it's like walking into a picture book. And you're like, wow, they're going to play. Not only is it here, but you get to play golf on this. I mean, it was like that. You just kind of walk around. The first time you walk around, you just kind of walk around in awe of it. And so, and it's that way, I think, for all golfers that are out there. So to be, Patrick Reed or any of those guys that are out there playing and qualify to play in it and get there just to tee it up in the tournament is beyond, dreams. I mean, it's what everybody dreams about as a golfer, much less to go ahead and win it and put the green jacket on, which, as we talked about, gives you that. So it's really a cool place.
Hello to Patricia Parker watching and Robbie Tuberville watching. Thank you very much. We're live again at B&H Wealth Strategies, the El Presidente of said company at B&H Wealth Strategies. Again, 247-1152. Jeff Bingham here with us. And again, up on the bulletin board here, it says change is inevitable. Growth is optional, John Maxwell. So your job here is what you do very well is to grow people's money.
It is to grow people's money, and in the case of many of our clients that are retired, not only to grow their money or at least sustain their money and make sure we provide income from them and really grow their income, if you think, over the years. Because again, so I think I'm going to look at it two ways. We're trying to grow assets before retirement, right? During the accumulation phase, you're trying to make sure that we're moving along and we're reaching these various thresholds that we have to accumulate wealth and assets, because we're trying to get to a point of whether we want to call it financial independence or retirement or whatever you want to call it from that perspective. But at some point in time, the wealth that you have created, this accumulation amount, is going to become the distribution. It's one thing to get to the top of the mountain. The other part is to be successful, you got to get back down, right? Getting to the top of Everest is not the goal. The goal is to get to the top summit and then get back down. So the other side of that is the distribution phase, which is quite honestly is something that we do here on a regular basis, much more, and it's much more complicated and difficult to do than the accumulation phase, because we're adding money to it. Now we're taking money out of the assets. And so what we really have to do is make sure that we can kind of sustain the wealth, the asset that we've accumulated to get there to the point, to the summit. And now we've got to distribute, and we have to have that income grow over time. So we grow the asset on the way up, and we want to grow the income on the way down, if you will, through the distribution phase, because the things, inflation and time is going to continue to chew away. The dollars that you're getting today are not going to buy that dollar is not going to buy the same thing 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and so on. So, change
is inevitable. Growth is optional. Here you go. We're talking to our buddy Jeff Bingham. So, appeal to those out there, first-time folks watching the show that have never invested and say, it's just for people who've got a lot of money. I don't have a whole lot of money, and I don't think, I don't know if I really want to do this, because we have talked about this many, many times. Something is better than nothing. If you start small, you can just put back so much a month, let you invest it for them and build a portfolio. Something is better than nothing at the end of the day. Fair statement?
It is a fair statement. And I was thinking about it as you were saying that. I mean, think about what you just said to me right there. People think about it along the terms of that investing is only for people that have money, that are wealthy, that already have money. Well, how do you get money?
Exactly.
I mean, as you said that, I mean, just kind of, one of those aha moments. You just go, I mean, the only way to begin to accumulate assets, wealth, whatever you want to call it, and to have, kind of get from where you are to where you want to be, is you got to start. Right, I mean, what is it that a journey of 1,000 steps starts one step at a time. So, you've got whether it be coming in and talking to someone like me, or just putting somebody in the bank to start with, or your 401k plan, through your employer at work. Just start doing something, right? You've seen the money commercials where the guy's running after the pig. Feed the pig. I mean, literally. My dad told me, as I use my dad's sayings all the time, if you put yourself on the payroll first, you'll be a financial success. If you don't, no matter how much money you make, you never will be. So, it's just a matter of, and there's always reasons not to, right? I mean, life gets in the way. You know, things are too expensive. I don't have enough money at the end of the month to pay my bills. I mean, you know, I need new tires. I mean, you can. It's like Carter's got pills. I mean, you know, there's a reason not to do it just everywhere you turn. But if you don't do it, you're not ever. You're stuck, right? I mean, you just have to literally start. Put yourself on the payroll first. You know, put 10% aside, whatever the number is. Come up with a number, you know, and figure out a way to do it, and just do it. Just do it.
As nice as just do it. And so that's where he comes into play, because if you don't know how to do it, he can sit down with you and help you. Whether you, again, have accumulated wealth already, just don't know how to do what to do with it, or you're saying, look, I'm 45 years old, I'm 35 years old, I just went through a divorce. Pick the scenario, because we all have different phases of life, and you know, we need to form a game plan, a financial game plan. It's pretty simple. He's like the coach or a quarterback, probably more of a coach of a financial team, but we got to sit down and go, okay, we got to, at the end, you know, we get up into the later years, we got to have some money sitting back. You know, we don't want to be, what's the old saying, run out of money before we run out of time?
Someone run out of money before we run out of time.
Yeah. So this is what he does, and does very, very well. The firm's been around for
52 years, 1966. So a while.
Yes.
We've been doing it for a while.
Ain't your first rodeo.
It ain't.
No.
No, sir.
I love this guy. Ain't your first? No, it ain't, Tom.
No, it ain't.
You're right there, Cowboy. So 247-1152. So that first visit is you have a fantastic client base, but you're always looking for more clients, obviously. So that first visit is to come right in this office and sit down and say, here's a cup of coffee, here's a bottle of water, here's some candy, whatever you need. You know, tell me, let's talk. Tell me about what's going on, where you are, where you want to be, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, you think about it, I mean, and you kind of described it very well right there, and we try not to even call, you know, meetings. We call them visits. The first visit that we had, I mean, literally, as you described the room that we're in right now, we really, it's our small conference room, but it's also really just a den. I mean, this is what this room was when this was a house, and the Epps family lived here. There's a fireplace in here. We really want to just come in here and kind of sit down and begin a conversation. And again, that conversation starts with 3 questions. And again, I understand that when it's your first visit, you can ask me anything you want about that. I mean, I'll tell you about the firm, I'll tell you about myself, we'll talk about how we get paid. We go through all of that. So it really is, when these first meetings are for the client, or the prospective client, to be able to come in and ask their questions, but also tell their story. And believe it or not, because obviously I can get on here and talk a lot, but the least that I talk during that in any meeting really that I'm in, certainly the first meeting, the better I'm doing my job, because I'm listening. We like to, you know, I'm going to ask 3 questions: where are you, where you want to be, and how do you want to get there? And we'll kind of fill in around those questions to try to help people, you know, kind of think along the lines of but basically I want to give them the canvas and the brush to paint their story and their picture.
And you're doing well. Let me, again, real quick, announce the winners. We'll come back and let him wrap up. We got Mike Hedrick waiting to join us top of the hour. Again, we're past top of the hour. We're here live again to B&H Wealth Strategies. It's the fastest 2 hours I do. I'm telling you. I get settled in. I got all this stuff to talk about. I'm looking at, we're inside of an hour for the show's over. Here are your winners again for the tickets. Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina. Mike Bear from Bluff City. Dolores Mosley from Jonesville, Virginia. The Saturday winners go to Tina Williams from Williamsburg, Kentucky. Betty Perry from Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson from Fayetteville, North Carolina. So again, thanks to all you folks, and we appreciate that very much. And we want to say a big thank you to 12 states. We've got contests coming up after the race week. This is race week, of course. We'll be here today, tomorrow Max Meadows, tomorrow Wednesday Chick-fil-A, Thursday Champion Chevrolet, Parking the Show Friday. We'll be announcing it's Bush's Beans Pole Day at the Speedway. Kids get in free there for the pole day coming up on Friday. Looks like it's going to be in the 70s and 80s for the weekend, much warmer. Yay. And so we'll pick back up next week and be ready to go. And we got Dollywood tickets will be given away a little bit later on in the month of May. So we're going to move things into the next round, and more race tickets coming up in the fall. In closing here, this first segment, I know Tom's come back and be with you in just a few minutes, Dr. Tom, but again, what you want to do, look in that camera and talk to folks and say, we want you to come talk to us, and we want to build your financial future, whether you have again, as we said earlier, a lot of wealth accumulated, or some, or not at all, at the starting point. You got to, what's the old saying, inch by inch, anything's a cinch. So if you have a little bit of money, if you have zero, that's what he does, is say, okay, let's glean some over here and put some over there, and let's start building for a financial future, correct?
Correct. I mean, again, what we try to do here, and I think what makes us a little bit or a lot different than the others that are out there, is not only have we been around a long time, and my staff has been with me a long time, so we have this consistency, this comfort, this continuity that is really almost unheard of out there in today's world, I think. I mean, it really is. And I am, I own my firm here. We're not a franchise. We're not a big wirehouse, but we have all the access that all those guys have out there. We have the full tool set to do that, and we try to create what I refer to as a Four Seasons experience, and that is that we don't want you just to tell us what you need and then provide it. We want to be able to anticipate that and provide it beforehand. We refer to it around here as, I want to be my client's Google for all things that deal with us from really a health perspective and a wealth perspective, from money and from health issues. And again, it's really a wellness program that we run more than, again, I'm not a doctor by any stretch of the imagination, but Dr. Rogers will be in here and is our medical director. So we do have that access. And so we want to figure out how you can, you can not run out of money, you can accumulate the wealth that you have, but you can also optimize your health during this and experience that and be the best you can be. Have the money that you need to do it, to live comfortably. As my dad always said, money's not everything, and it's not, but just try doing without it. So we need to be good stewards with our money and figure out how to make it work and make sure that it lasts as long as we do. But we also want to make sure that our health lasts as long as we do, or it is. And I've talked about this before, is that what we see is that life expectancies continue to increase, but healthy lifespans have gone stagnant. So the gap between when you get sick to where and when you actually die, we've as a country we've become very good at keeping people alive for a long time, but not keeping them well for a long time. And there's a huge difference in that. And what we're trying to do, and I think what we're trying to do as a firm, and what Dr. Rogers is trying to do with performance medicine, is we're trying to close that gap to keep the healthy lifespan there and grow it. Again, going back to changes, changes inevitable, growth is optional. We're trying to grow that so we live longer, fuller lives, not sicker lives, but during the latter parts of life. So, and there's a lot of societal reasons to talk about that as well, as you can get me off on a soapbox, and I know we're over time. So, but anyway, that's the experience. I mean, we want to create a Four Seasons experience. We're not for everybody, and I know that, but I think if you come in and sit down with me for an hour and you kind of get a feel for the whole place, you never know, you might like it.
I did, and so here we are. So hello to Dawn Lambert. Good morning, young lady. Lovely young lady. Appreciate her very much watching. And Patricia Parker and Robbie Turbeville and Johnny Phillips and Bradley Gooch says, I want to win me some Dollywood tickets. Well, Bradley, you may have that opportunity coming up here in the month of May. So anyway, quick break. You'll be back in a few minutes, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, give me some. This guy's the deal. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. We're live here again at B&H Wealth Strategies, Center Street in Kingsport, right across from Mayfair United Methodist Church. It's not in the middle of nowhere. It's very easy to find right down Center Street. Again, the little white house with a big black sign on the front says B&H Wealth Strategies. And we'll take a break. We'll go to Northern Virginia talking NASCAR with my buddy Mike Hedrick. Hedrick came off the Bristol Tower on Saturday, over the edge, went down 10 stories with a little tiny rope about this big. He and Jerry Caldwell, a lot of folks did that as a fundraiser for Speedway Children's Charities and also for the Bristol YWCA. And we'll talk to you about that. And Kyle Busch's big weekend in Texas. And, yep, the boys of NASCAR are coming to Bristol. It's race week here in the Tri-Cities. We'll tell you more about it right after one of our great sponsors, Champion Chevrolet, on show number 725 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City's huge spring sale is in full swing. We have over 600 new Chevys to choose from with savings up to 20% off MSRP. 17 Silverado 1500, 20% off MSRP with over 200 in stock. 17 Silverado HD, 13% off MSRP. 2017 Equinox Trax in Malibu, 20% off MSRP. Don't forget our Saturday parts and service hours and shopping online 24/7. Champion Chevrolet on the Motor Mile in Johnson City, where we leave you asking, how do they do that?
The savings continue the month of April at Max Medismart in Kingsport. All natural factors, 20% off the entire month of April. Products like folic acid, CoQ10, apple cider vinegar capsules to lose weight, vitamin B12, Stress Relax, which are tranquil sleep chewables, all 20% off the month of April. Easy Iron, niacin tablets, vitamin C, calcium, over 100 different supplements of natural factors, all 20% off the month of April. No coupons, no limits. A flat 20% off anytime you buy natural factors in April at Max Medicine Mart. Make tracks to Max. Center Street in Kingsport, where natural factors are 20% off the month of April at Max Medicine Mart.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at FCA.org.
It's Friday night at 7 o'clock. You've been involved in a car accident. You may be out of state on vacation or just a few miles from home. What do you do? Who do you call? At Farmers Insurance Group, one call is all you have to make. Hello, this is Jim Klein, an agent with Farmers Insurance. It's called One and Done. You don't have to wait till Monday morning to file a claim. You can make the initial call and we'll begin right away to help you. We assist you in moving the vehicle to a certified repair shop, getting you set up with rental car, and informing your agent. Then here at the staff at Jim Klein Farmers Insurance, we follow the claim through to the end. It's that easy. One and Done. We're your one and done location for all your insurance needs. Auto, home, life, commercial, workers' comp, and bonds. We can help you with all your insurance needs. Give me a call today, Jim Klein Farmers Insurance at 247-5400. Your one and done location in Kingsport, 247-5400.
Back in the Tom Douglas Sports Show, let's go to the phone. He's there. Our buddy Mike Hedrick joins us live from Northern Virginia. Good afternoon, my good friend. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little sore in my belly muscles there from doing that crazy rappelling over the tower. Did Jerry Caldwell punch me in the belly when I was coming down there? I mean, I know it's Bristol, and he was trying to bump me and everything, but goodness gracious.
Yep. So I don't know, but it was fun watching you, and I think she has taken some pictures of that, and then she's going to put those up on her website where you can check them out. But what we're talking about is on Saturday, we mentioned this for a couple of weeks, promoting it for Speedway Children's Charities and for the Bristol YWCA. There's probably 20, 25 people all told, came off the side of the iconic Bristol Tower, 10 stories up, rappelling with a little tiny rope. It didn't look like it'd be very big from where I was standing. So Mike was one of those and came down the side, and he came down the same time as Jerry Caldwell did, our executive vice president and general manager of the track. And so they did it for charity, did it for a great cause. But again, as I said off air a few minutes ago during the break, having watched you after you did it, you were emotionally spent, and you just kind of sat there for a long time. I turned and looked, said, "You okay?" You just had that look like, man, it's like I've been to a fight or whatever. So I'm just emotionally just wore out, and it took that out of you. It was cold. It was the adrenaline to do it. So, again, try to explain to folks who've never done that what it was like to come off, and you start at the top and you kind of fall backwards to get started and come down 10 stories with a rope.
Yeah, that was crazy. It was a once-in-a-lifetime. Well, not a once-in-a-lifetime, because we're hearing it's going to be an annual event. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to try to help out and help out Speedway's Children's Charities. They do so much. But it was crazy. I tell people, they're like, what was it like? The word is insane. It was insane being up there. I wasn't scared up there. Remarkably, I was so in the moment and paying attention because, there's a lot going on there, to everything that everybody was telling me. And they were making sure everything was locked in, everything was secure. And then, like you said, when you start lowering yourself over the edge, you're still so focused on what you're doing and making the right moves. and what's going on right in front of you. And like I said, you're repelling, and and then you look down and you feel like, man, I still have not gone anywhere. It's still 200 feet all the way down there, but it was great to go down next to Jerry Caldwell, got to know him a little bit better. We promised each other what was said on the wall stays on the wall, because, we were a little nervous there, but it was great. It was great when I got to the bottom. I got to the bottom before my adrenaline and before all that got to me, but it did catch me right sure after that, and it was an amazing thing. I'm glad I did it. I'm 56 years old. I'm getting older. Went and did it one-legged, and I hope that inspires some people. And another nice thing is, going up there, it's amazing how much scripture you can actually remember when you're on the top of that tower getting ready over. And I said Bible verses. And a young lady that was up there with me sent me a very nice note this morning saying that it was very nice to see me, give Jesus the credit and so much and all that, and it was very humbling, and so that was really nice to get her. But amazing event. I'm glad I was on the inaugural event. I'm not sure I'm going to be at the annual event there, Tom.
It was a great time, absolutely. We appreciate it very much. Again, it was a chance to, raise money for some great folks, and you did it well. And again, kudos to everybody involved. And of course, the recipients and the bottom line, the folks that did well and financially were Speedway Children's Charities, and also they were the Bristol YWCA. So big event. It was cold, it was snowy, it was raining, but everybody did it for the right reason, including Mike Hedrick, and so hopefully it'll be an annual event and raise a lot of money for a lot of deserving kids. And so I appreciate this gentleman. Again, if you don't know the story, and we won't get into it in a great detail, except to say that he does have a prosthetic leg, and so for him to come off 10 stories up in that situation, let alone, shows me he has a lot of guts and he's determined. He's the champion. So a lot of folks wouldn't do it at all, and he did it with an opportunity to show folks that if you're an amputee, that if he lost a leg, that you can do that, and he did it. So, and I applaud him, and that's one of the reasons I appreciate his friendship, and because he's a champion no matter what he does, and he does it well, and he does a lot of gusto. Mike Hedrick's involved in something, gets pedal to the metal, floorboarding, and that's the way he lives his life, and I appreciate that. We go to Texas Motor Speedway, and we talk about a guy named Kyle Busch. His son kind of predicted his win, but Rowdy hits victory lane, stopping a very talented and very strong running Kevin Harvick to win it. So give me what happened yesterday, and we'll talk about the Xfinity race too. But yesterday, Kyle Busch gets win number 44, ties him on the all-time wins list with Bill Elliott, Wild Bill from Dawsonville. So kind of recap the weekend yesterday, starting with the Cup race.
It started off with young Brexton Busch. He actually called it Sunday morning. He told his father, Kyle Busch, "Daddy, you're going to win today." So he called it, and he did. It's great to see Kyle Busch. He's a champion. He's been so close this season here, and we've all been talking about the 4 second-place finishes in a row. That had to be frustrating. But yeah, he gets his first one of the year, third one at Texas, like you said, 44th of his career. And he held off Kevin Harvick right there at the end, did some remarkable driving. Now, NASCAR says that Kevin Harvick actually should have got a penalty earlier in the race. It probably would have been a lap down because he had a tire that came out of the box and wasn't penalized. But really, a good part of that race was, after some of the wrecking went on, that young guys, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, all in the top 10. I thought that was really good to see those rookies and Eric Jones. It's his second year, be right up there. And that fourth place finish with Eric Jones was really good. I was a little disappointed in Alex Bowman, who's driving the 88, just wrecked himself on lap 4. But all those Hendricks guys are getting caught up. Jimmy Johnson got caught up with Denny Hamlin later on, and he got wrecked out. And so that's again ends a chance for him to get a win and continues that winless streak. Hopefully, maybe he'll get it at Bristol. We know he won there last year. But it was It was also fun watching Bubba Wallace not just finish good, but he had Kevin Harvick on his tail for about 10 laps, and the young driver really just held his line, kept his marks. It was a great race all the way around.
You take your top 10, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Jamie McMurray, good run for him to Ganassi Racing, Cessna Chevrolet, Eric Jones, young man's coming to town, having won the Xfinity race last year at Bristol. He finishes 4th in the Cup race. Ryan Blaney, good run for him, again, the Penske team. His teammate Joey Logano 6th, Kurt Busch 7th, Bubba Wallace, a rookie, 8th, Clint Boyer 9th, and rounding out the top 10, a Hendricks car, the Liberty University Chevrolet, and William Byron. So some usual names in there, but 2 rookies in the top 10. And then Clint Boyer apparently is putting together a nice little run, having won the week before. So got some guys coming to town with some momentum. Mike Hendrick got some guys coming to town who obviously are looking for some momentum right now.
I think the Bristol is going to be a great place to really sort out this season. I think because, we're hearing so much about how the Fords are really good, and then we're hearing how there's the controversy between the veteran drivers and the real young drivers. Well, Bristol is a great equalizer. It's crazy for everybody, to go around. It's like driving around the top of a cereal bowl in there really fast. So I think this is going to be a great equalizer. I think we're going to see, again, like we said, this may be Eric Jones's. We know that he's won there a couple times in Xfinity, came in second last year to Kyle Busch right there and in the Cup race. So this might be a shot for him to, maybe even move somebody out of the way and get the race. But Bristol, I think, is going to be, by far it's always, but it's going to be one of the best races this season so far, and I think it's because everything is ratcheting up. The tension's going, the Fords are feeling confident, the Chevys are all feeling really frustrated, especially the Hendricks organizations. This might be the time where Jimmy Johnson just finally gets angry and just moves somebody and does something. So there, and then now we have the Toyotas that they finally got them a win along with Martin Truex, so they're feeling strong. So I think Bristol, a lot of stuff is going to get sorted out there.
It's only the 8th race of the season coming up, but there's a lot of pressure. And you look at the bottom 5 or 6 yesterday, Mike Hendrick, and we're talking to Mike, see on the screen, our NASCAR fan reporter. He joins us today, and he'll join us again on Thursday for our final show this week. Will be a Champion Chevrolet. But you look at these bottom 5 yesterday. Your defending series champion Martin Truex Jr. finishes dead last. Then comes Kyle Larson. Then comes Jimmy Johnson. Then comes Denny Hamlin. Then comes Brad Keselowski. Those are the 37th through the 33rd finishers. There's a lot of wins in those 5 drivers who had a terrible day yesterday. Keselowski runs strong at Bristol. Denny Hamlin's won here. Kyle Larson sat on the pole for both races in the spring last year. So these guys did not have a good Texas Motor Speedway weekend at all in the Cup Series. So they're coming to town with more pressure and more of a I don't know if you hit the panic button in race number 8, but some of these guys, it's not coming out like they want to at all to start this season, and so they're going to be looking for a W, and I think you'll see more guys, I think you nailed it, you see more guys pressing, more so than they normally do because of where they are right now and how their season's going.
And you're exactly right. And even some of those 5 that you mentioned down there in the bottom, they're going to be contenders at Bristol. There's Kyle Larson, runs good there. Jimmy Johnson, he's down there, but we know he won last year. And Denny Hamlin and Brad Kay, those guys are going to be in the mix. They're going to be right up front at Bristol. They're at the back of there. It was a DW was trying to spell the word attrition, just meaning that people were going to get knocked out of that race. Well, because of so many guys did get wrecked out, veterans, whatever, that's made the space to give the guys like Eric Jones and Darrell Wallace and all that to be up there and get those positions. So stuff wiggles around. NASCAR is a funny game there, Tom.
You got it. Here are the top 10 coming to Bristol points-wise. Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, the Penske teammates 2 and 3. Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer. There's 2 more Stewart-Haas teammates, 4th and 6th, respectively, in their sport. Then comes Brad Keselowski, another Penske. Kurt Busch, another Stewart-Haas. Rounding out the top 10, Denny Hamlin, and then Kyle Larson, the Ganassi driver. So, again, Kyle Busch, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., top 5, and then comes Clint Boyer, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Larson. Of course, as we said earlier, Kyle Busch tying Bill Elliott in the all-time wins list now with 44. And you look up and down this top 10 in points, you've got guys that have won at Bristol. Joey Logano, Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski. Certainly Kurt Busch has dominated the track. In fact, at one point he won 3 straight spring races. Denny Hamlin's won here the night race. And so you got guys that can turn the wheel at Bristol Motor Speedway. So, yeah, it's going to be a great weekend of racing. It all gets started with the Bush's Beans Pole Day on Friday. Backing up to Saturday, let's take a look at what Ryan Blaney did. Here's your top 5 from Saturday's race. Ryan Blaney, rookie Christopher Bell, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, and Ryan Preece. Your top 5 in the Xfinity Series, with Elliott Sadler coming to town with the lead of, 11 points over Tyler Reddick, his teammate. So kind of breakdowns. Looked to be some pretty good racing on Saturday, and Ryan Blaney brought home the checkers.
Ryan Blaney did get the win, and And when we look at the Xfinity Series, I mean, this was the 6th race in the season, and it's only been won by an Xfinity driver just one time, and that was Tyler Reddick. He got that for Junior Motorsports. So it's not, in fact, it's pretty much the norm that if there's a good Cup driver in there, he's going to get the win. Neat thing about Ryan Blaney, he continues, after he did get the win, he continues to include kids in NASCAR. He got out, he got the checkered flag. He actually spotted a little boy or two through the fence and then handed the checkered flag to the young man over there so he could have it and have that great moment, that great memento. I think that's added to that young kid's life, and that's just so neat how Ryan Blaney knows to do that, and he's in such a good position and that he can do that kind of stuff. But again, the usual suspects right there, the Xfinity guys, the same guys that we're going to see at the top of their standings were in there yesterday good. I mean, that's your Christopher Bell in second, Daniel Hemrick, Cole Custer, Ryan Preece in the top 5. Those guys, if you look at the standings, those are the usual suspects that are right up there doing well. So that's all working out. I think Christopher Bell is a rookie. I think he's the guy to watch in this thing. I know that the Junior Motorsports, they're traditionally great in this series, but I think Christopher Bell is really good to watch right there. Elliott Sadler, you know, he's leading the point standing, but he finished 8th right there. Tyler Reddick, he's got one win, which locks him into the playoffs, but he was even 5 laps back. So I think the young guys that we're really watching now are your Tyler Reddicks, your Christopher Bell, Hemrick, Justin Allgaier, and Cole Custer, and then this young guy Ryan Preece. I think he's a good driver for Joe Gibbs Racing.
We're talking to our buddy again, Mike Hedrick, on the phone live in Woodbridge, Virginia. He's coming to town soon, and he'll be in here this week, and we'll get a chance to see you all over Bristol Motor Speedway working, again, interviewing the drivers, doing a great job. So tell fans where they're going to be able to see and meet Mike Hedrick this weekend at Bristol.
Well, Friday afternoon for all the qualifying, I'm going to be up in the Diamond Club. That's up in the Sky Suites. And then Saturday, I'm going to be at the Bristol Tap Room. Now, that's a great lounge right there, Sky Suite level, that fans have access. And then race day, I'm going to be down at the pre-race pit stop and going to be talking to great people. I'm going to be interviewing Bill Goldberg. He's a WWE champion, just inducted the other day into the WWE Hall of Fame. And I've got Bubba Wallace and Drew Blickensturfer from the number 43 team. That's the driver and crew chief for Richard Petty. Going to have them on pit road. Going to have Ryan Truex and Chris Rice also. Going to have Kyle Larson. So it's just going to be great. It's those kind of settings where you get to talk to the drivers. You really get some great feedback to that, and it's a great way for fans to really upgrade just their fan experience from just a regular ticket to maybe being in one of these spots where these drivers are, because it's very interesting what we learn out of that and how nice they are to the fans and how accommodating they are with pictures and autographs like that. So I'm excited. Some of these guys I have talked to before, but Bubba Wallace, I haven't really talked to him, and with his great finish this last weekend, I'm going to talk to him and see what's on his head and how he thinks he's going to do there at Bristol Motor Speedway.
You got a great report, my friend. Screen Taters, and I will see you down here working with you. At some point, get a chance to run our paths across, and I appreciate what you do. You're a class act. You add so much to my show, and thank you, my friend. Give me some Screen Taters, would you please?
Screen Taters. God bless you good, everybody. Woo-hoo-hoo!
There you go. My buddy Mike Hedrick from Northern Virginia gives us an update on NASCAR. We're live here again at B&H Wealth Strategies. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll be joined by Dr. Tom Rogers from Performance Medicine and Jeff Bingham. Both are going to come by and visit with us to talk what's going on here at B&H Wealth Strategies. Hello to Patricia and Jimmy Moore watching down in Churchill. Also, hello to Valerie. How do you say your last name? Hausauer? Hope I'm saying that right. Appreciate her very, very much. Again, one of our regulars, and we can't thank you folks enough for watching the show and then like and share the show later on. It's archived. You can go back and watch any and all segments of the show, and you do that, and I appreciate that. We get those comments all the time from folks. So quick break. We'll be joined by Dr. Tom Rogers next year on show number 725 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE Master Technicians here. With the ratio, goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop. So it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back with the Tom Douglas Sports Show again. Let's announce who's winners. Congratulations. Our Food City 500 winners: Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina; Mike Bear from Bluff City; Dolores Mosley from Jonesville, Virginia. You three kids are going to the Food City 500 on Sunday. On Saturday, the Xfinity Series race, the Fitzgerald Rider Kids 300. Congratulations to Tina Williams from Williamsburg, Kentucky; Betty Perry from Elizabethton; and Justin Swanson from Fayetteville, North Carolina. We had 12 different states all told qualifying for the tickets. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Can't thank you enough. And so, as we said earlier, we'll have more tickets to give away coming up a little bit later on. Some different type tickets, of course. I think we're doing some Dollywood tickets, and I've got some other stuff coming up. And we've given away barter tickets in the past, but Dollywood seems to be a hot ticket to go to Dollywood and ride the rides and get you some funnel cake or whatever. So we will do that coming up in the month of May, and then we'll come back in August and do. Don't laugh. I bet. See, he's laughing at us. I bet you Bingham would eat a funnel cake.
I bet you would.
I've seen him eat a funnel cake, but he was about 10 years old. Yeah.
Ain't happening. Anyway. You can go down and eat whatever you want to eat, get your snow cone, whatever. Just go to Dollywood and have a big time. So we'll give you some tickets in May to give you a chance to get qualified to ride the rides. And have you ever been to Dollywood?
I have, yes.
Okay.
I have not been.
Have you rode the rides? Are you a ride rider? Do you get on the tilt-a-whirl and the Ferris wheel?
With my children.
There you go.
Yeah, I live
Here's a man can help you with that. Good segue. Dr. Tom Rogers, the owner of Performance Medicine, who's a partner, of course. He is as Jeff said earlier, the medical director of B&H Wealth Strategies. So here it is, spring. First off, good morning, or now good afternoon. Thank you for coming by. I know you're very, very busy and appreciate the time. And so here it is, spring. Warm weather's finally coming. Looks like later on this week, going to be in the 70s, low 80s. Spring kind of got a taste earlier. Now it's got cold and wet. So folks want to come out here and kind of get started for the spring and want to do a new start with their health, and you can help them. Tell us how you can help folks with Performance Medicine.
Well, as a physician in integrative medicine, and what my job is to really figure out what you can do to stay healthy, not just add another pill for your cholesterol, your blood sugar, your hypertension. Really, I like to figure out what makes you tick and figure out your metabolism. Most people struggle with their weight. 70% of Americans are overweight or obese, and it's really killing our healthcare economy. So in the last 12 years, I've focused on helping people lose weight, adjusting their hormones, kind of figure them out.
And you've done it well. Obviously, you have your client base. We talked to Jeff about this earlier. Your client base is, of course, you're based here in the Tri-Cities, but you have folks all over the place, right?
I treat from several states, and I've been doing this for a long time, and hopefully have a good business with it.
Mm-hmm. So you said, let's talk about getting off to a good start. So tell us about folks out there. Much like Jeff earlier, we talked about some folks that just want to get started and want to come in and sit down and talk to him about how he can help them financially. Let's do the same thing. Let you address the folks by how to get a good start, kind of starting off health-wise.
With performance medicine, the best thing I do in my clinics by far is to draw a blood test called the Boston Heart Panel. It's a baseline test that is covered by insurance, and even if your insurance doesn't cover it, doesn't matter. But it's a really good test to evaluate somebody's metabolism. In other words, not just your cholesterol or blood sugar, but how big those particles are, how inflamed your body is, how inflamed your arteries are, what your genetics look like. Are you insulin resistant? And that's the reason you can't lose weight. What your hormones look like. As you get older, your hormones drop and you decline in every way. Very extensive thyroid testing, adrenals, fatty acid breakdown, and many more things. Even a CoQ10 level is on there. But a lot of stuff that most people have never heard of are on there. But I draw so many thousands of these things and go over so many that I can kind of tell you when I spend a half hour, 45 minutes with you, what you can do to get healthier in every way, really.
So this blood, it's just the usual draw?
Just a blood draw from your arm. Doesn't take 2 minutes to get it. And then I FedEx it up to Harvard University. 3 weeks later, I get the results. I bring the patient in, and we spend a lot of time kind of going over things. You need to come in if you haven't had one. Maybe after the race.
Never had
after
one.
your funnel cake, and then come in and we'll see what your cholesterol is.
I'm going to bring Jeff a funnel cake from Dollywood when I go down there. I'm going to put one in my backpack and bring it back. He's not going to eat it, but yeah, I could do that. I would be certainly willing to sit down and see, run through and see, because we're all wanting to, if we're smart, we only have one body, obviously, so we're trying to make sure we can maximize it the most we can while we've got it, right, before we get called home.
That's exactly right. That's, my specialty is really kind of anti-aging. I treat everybody, but I really like that baby boomer generation that Jeff and I are in, and I really like partnering up with him because, he's just way ahead of the game, not only personally, he's very physically fit and all, but you have to think about your money. How long are you going to live? How are you going to feel? What kind of health you're going to be in? Most people's resources are drained by health care. So our goal is to keep you healthy so you won't have to spend that money in a nursing home or in the hospital. You spend it on yourself and then enjoy your life.
Had this discussion yesterday. A gentleman at our church was talking about his mother who has since passed away, and they were talking about the health care costs. We know of another couple's getting ready to go into assisted living there where we go to church, and so the gentleman said his mother who's passed away, she passed away earlier in the year, said it's costing us $6,000 a month to be in assisted living. He said, look, we didn't have it. I don't know what they did, and I asked, none of my business, but that's if you're looking at a year's time, that's $72,000 that you're going to have to pony up to keep mom or somebody, dad or somebody in a facility. And if you don't have that money, the old saying, you're hurting for certain. I don't know what you do, but so that's what you're trying to do with their health, to make sure you're not, bankrupt health-wise as you get older in years.
Right. What I do is try to keep people healthy in the first place. Then they need to talk to Jeff to make sure they've got those financial stuff in plan. And hopefully, he starts a lot of the health savings accounts, and he can advise you on long-term health care, whether you need it or not, so that you'll kind of ease that worry about later on when you may need it. Hopefully you won't need it, but you have to have something.
Let's talk exercise. We're talking to Dr. Tom Rogers, Hunter Performance Medicine. Again, Had Hank Brown on a week or so ago, who we're getting ready to gear up not too far away to the Crazy H Road Race. And so, I asked Hank, I said, somebody wants to go out there and do we just immediately start going out here and running? He said, no, you got to kind of pace yourself. You can't just take off and start training for a 5K by having never run before. So, same thing with health. But yours, like what Jeff said earlier, something's better than nothing. So, walking, tell me how someone out there can, anything you do in exercise is good to help your body, right?
That's exactly right. Just physical exercise is probably the best thing you can do to stay healthy and live a long time. But yeah, start out walking. I'm a big believer in some kind of resistance training. I do think as you get older, you need to lift some light weights, do yoga, stretch. So you need a little muscle work as well.
Yep. And so Performance Medicine can do that. So tell us again how we can get a hold of you. You're right down the street, is that correct?
My office in Kingsport is on Center Street at the old Blue Ridge Property Building. It's a big white house. I'm in Johnson City on State of Franklin, and I have a Knoxville office. But so any one of them, just look up performancemedicine.net, and my menu of services is on there. But even if you're not a patient, come in and get a Boston Heart Panel. It's the best thing we do is a Boston Heart Panel.
So that's where you draw the blood, and 2 or 3 weeks you call and bring us back and say, here's what's going on.
Right, checks hormones. A lot of people come to me because of low hormone levels, and I do a lot of hormone replacement.
Yeah, great job. Website?
Performancemedicine.net.
There you go, performancemedicine.net. Of course, she's partnering with Jeff from the health, and we're going to get them back in next month and sit down and really zero in on how you two are partnering and how, we'll be in the month of May. It'll be Mother's Day, Memorial Days. It'll be much, much warmer weather. So how we can get a jump start financially, a jump start obviously with her health through these two folks, again, PNH Wealth Strategies and Performance Medicine, right?
Right.
Yeah. You going to the race this weekend?
I hope to. It doesn't rain.
Yeah, because Bristol Motor Speedway is where you drove by there.
The Performance Medicine, that's exactly right. I love the races, and I love to hear you to be the announcer.
Well, thank you. You embarrassed me. Okay. All right, on that note, we'll go ahead and take a break. Oh, I got to go on that one. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back. But, yeah, we love being the voice of the track. We love doing that. We'll take a quick break, come right back, take a look at softball and baseball. We got some games scheduled. Weather's a little iffy today, but they've been – I know the Eastman Invitational, they finally got a champion after being rained out all day yesterday, and they finally crowned the champion. We'll tell you about that. Take a look at Major League Baseball, who's playing this afternoon, and also, as we said, get you the very latest in high school baseball and softball across the region. Right after this time out on show 725 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City, one of the things that owner Tim Smith is most proud of is their hard-earned certifications.
We are an ASE Blue Seal shop, which is important because what it tells the customer is we care enough to get certified, not in one certain area of cars. You have to be certified in 8 different certifications, in 8 different tests you have to take, and you have to be updated on them yearly to make sure that you're up to date. We not only have one of those, we have 3 ASE master technicians here. With the ratio, it goes into a ratio, and we're a Blue Seal shop, so it tells you that we care about training and we care about knowing about your car. We want to help fix it right.
American Import and Auto Repair, West Market Street, Johnson City, home of the free loaner car program. Open 6 days a week. Call today, 913-3111.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitat, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
If you're catching some waves or just playing in the yard, it is important to protect yourself. You may not feel the sun's heat, but UV rays can still damage your skin even in cloudy weather. Blue Lizard Sunscreen, recommended by pharmacists and dermatologists nationwide. Our SPF 30-plus formulations use only the highest quality ingredients for broad spectrum protection. As a reminder to protect yourself, our bottle turns blue when UV light is present. Blue Lizard, we've got you covered.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Show again. Thanks, Dr. Tom Rogers, come by. He had to scoot, and I totally understand that. Let's run down what we've got going on in baseball today. It's a big showdown. Big 7 conference is the age-old rivalry. Science Hill and Dobbins Minute today, right down the road here at J. Fred Johnson Stadium. Daniel Boone at Tennessee High in the Big 7. Crockett at Cherokee. In the Three Rivers Conference, Unicoi County at Happy Valley, Sullivan East at Sullivan Central, Sullivan North, University High in the Watauga Valley Conference, Hampton at Unaka, and Cloudland at North Green. Elizabethton off today. They're scheduled to play tomorrow up on the mountain in Mountain City for the Cyclones of Ryan Presnell. We have from yesterday the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the championship of the Eastman Invitational softball game. Quarterfinals, Walker Valley beat Morristown West, Crockett beat Unicoi County, Cookeville beat Cherokee, and Daniel Boone beat Morristown East. That puts you into the semifinals. Walker Valley out of Knoxville beat Crockett 2-1. Cookeville eliminated Daniel Boone 5-2. I'm still chuckling about the funnel cake with Mr. Bingham. The championship of the Eastman Invitational went to Walker Valley, shutting out Cookeville. 5-0 was the final there. Softball today, Unicoi County at Crockett, University High at Volunteer, Sullivan Central's Lady Cougars hosting Happy Valley, Mitchell County, North Carolina at Hampton, North Green at South Green. In Southwest Virginia today, you have J.I. Burton at Twin Springs, Council at Castlewood, Ridgeview at John Battle, and Wise Central at Lehigh in softball today in Southwest Virginia. Again, the big baseball game, no question, as the late Bob Bingham would say, without question. Science Hill, Dobbins Minute. Science Hill at 6-0, Dobbins Minute at 5-1. They'll tangle right down the road here at J. Fred. 6 o'clock first pitch. That'll be a big one in the conference since Science Hill's 1, Dobbins Minute's 2. And the Three Rivers starting the week, Unicoi County in first place at 5-2. Don't look now, but here comes Elizabethton and Sullivan East tied for second. Watauga Valley Conference, you have University High in first place at 4-0, and you have right behind them Unaka at 3-1. In Southwest Virginia, the Cumberland District, Twin Springs on top of the leaderboard there. In the Mountain 7 District, Central and Abington and Union High are all tied for the Mountain 7 District lead right now in baseball. In softball, Big 7, Science Hill 4-0, Daniel Boone at 2-0. That's the top 2 lady softball teams in the Big 7 starting this week. In the Three Rivers Conference, Elizabethton at 4-0, Unicoi County at 4-1. In Watauga Valley, Unaka Lady Rangers at 5-0, and Cloudland at 2-1. And girls softball in the Cumberland District, Twin Springs and J.I. Burton are tied for the ladies in Southwest Virginia. And right now in softball, and it's very, very early, obviously, Ridgeview, John Battle, and the Gate City Lady Blue Devils are the top 3 in the Mountain 7 District softball tournament, or softball standings as well. Let's get him in one more time. Come on in here, big guy. And while I want to go ahead and tell you one more time the winners for the tickets. Can't thank you enough for the folks. Hello to Darius Hensley watching the show, the mayor of Vlog, North Carolina. Cannot thank you enough for the qualifiers of 12 states. And that little bitty show that said it wouldn't last. We're up to show number 725. Again, Kyle Barkley from Liberty, South Carolina. Mike Bear from Bluff City. Dolores Mosley from Jonesville, Virginia. The Saturday winners, Tina Williams out of Williamsburg, Kentucky. Betty Perry out of Elizabethton, and Justin Swanson out of Fayetteville, North Carolina are winners. So thank you again. Cannot thank you enough. And so with that, let's go to the screen one more time, because he's got some winners he wants to announce before we get out of here. And so what
I need these as well.
Yeah, oh, I know. I'm at that point too. Chaders. Got them Chaders. So, let's see, it was last month? It was in February, wasn't it? No, it was March.
It was March. The March Madness, yeah.
March.
Was a week ago. A week ago Monday was the championship game, right?
Yeah, and so we had a get-together, had a great shindig, if you will, over at Meadowview. At the March Madness, kind of the bracket party with B&H Wealth Strategies. You had some prizes there to win, and you are announcing the winner because we got somebody who's going to be a happy camper. They're going to Bristol.
We do, and I'll kind of start in descending order here too. We gave away three prizes for the bracket challenge from our March Madness party, and we had a tie for the third place, which was Phyllis Johnson and Larry Jennings, and they both won a results day spa gift certificate to Larry Wilson's place out there, and Larry was at the event, and I think did you on the air with you when Larry was on the air? Yeah. And then for those that are around Kingsport, Rick Everode finished second and won a great bottle of wine, of Silver Oak Cabernet, which is just a beautiful bottle of wine. I hope he enjoys. He's actually coming in here today. So Coach Everode actually was my football coach in junior high, and is a client of mine, which is kind of interesting how the world works.
Small world.
Yeah, and which is interesting that he taught me in school and coached me in football, and he still became a client of mine. So I don't know what that says about either one of us, but something. Everybody out there can figure it out. Great guy, and was the principal at Ross and Robinson for the latter part of his administrative career. Great guy.
Great guy.
And then first place winner was Norman Prophet. Prophet's been clients of mine for, probably more than 20 years. And started with my dad and became my client over the years. Great people. So congratulations. And they won 4 race tickets there. So, it's worth coming just to see if you can win that. That's pretty good prizes right there across the board.
Going to Bristol.
Yeah, going to Bristol, baby.
Tom Rogers going to be there, so we're looking for you up there this week, so it's cool stuff.
Yep.
Great segment, great visit. Love coming over here. Again, 247-1152 B&H Wealth Strategies. They're located on Center Street, right across the Mayfair United Methodist Church. Very easy to find. It's not like it's some off the beaten path, and it's right down, basically, probably the main drag of Kingsport on Center Street. So, 247-1152. Always looking to put another folder up on the shelf, right? Looking for
absolutely. As we said, we're not full yet. We're not to capacity. We got shelf space left, so we're looking for new clients, and would love to. Again, I use back to my Jack Reacher, which is the thing is that most people, it may not be a problem. I use the term solve or see a problem, solve a problem, but most of us do at least perceive that we have some problems or want to get better. We're somewhere, we want to get somewhere else and do it in as best possible way that we can, and that's what we do. And we sit down. The worst thing that can happen when you come in here is that you're going to spend an hour in our office and kind of get to know the folks that are in here. You're going to get to kind of experience that and find out that, maybe you're doing, maybe it's just a second opinion. And there are times when we sit down with folks and, what they're doing just makes sense. And we can't help them. Keep doing what you're doing. And if we can help or you want to have us involved, and, we can talk about that. But, we do run into that occasionally. But there's very seldom where we don't see a situation where when we're sitting down and talking to someone that we can add a little to it, that we can improve on it a little bit. And this happens at our roundtables or kind of seminar educational deals that we do, is that when we're talking to people, we're inviting people that are 55 years and older, and so they've obviously done things and have advisors and maybe are still working with them and have them involved. And we can work in conjunction with these other folks. I had a conversation with a lady there the other night about that. Is that we're not here to sit here and tell you that you need to stop doing everything that you're doing. You need to bring everything in here and give it to us, and and get rid of all these other people. And that happens as well. But we can work and complement what you're doing in other areas and start from that from that angle right there. So because again, people that are 55, they've talked to some people. They've got an advisor, maybe more than one, and they've got an estate planning attorney, they've got a CPA, they have all these things. But we are just, we can play a complement to that, look at what they're doing, and we want to make sure that everything is coordinated and it plays well together, and we can provide that, kind of that glue, if you will, to do that.
There you go. 247-1152. Again, the website is
www.bhretire.com.
bhretire.com.
BHRetire. Very simple.
See you next month.
You bet.
band's back. Like it. Next month.
Not going to break up this time.
No,
We're going to keep touring.
We're on tour, baby. It's not the final leg. It's just the first leg.
It's just getting started.
We're just getting started. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours, of course. Again, we want to say thanks to the guests that stopped by here today. That would have been, of course, Jeff Bingham, but Josh Lawson from the good folks from the Kingsport Mets. Appreciate him very much. Obviously, Dr. Tom Rogers from Performance Medicine. Jeff Bingham, the El Presidente of B&H Wealth Strategies. We're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Tomorrow, again, a short week. Tomorrow will be at Max Medicine Mart. Wednesday will be at Chick-fil-A, The Crossings in North Johnson City. And then Thursday, the #1 Chevy dealer in the state was there last week. They were flat moving the machines. Goodness gracious. Selling them Chevrolets. And pickup trucks are flying out of there. And the Equinoxes are hot right now. So we'll be at Champion Chevrolet on Thursday. Of course, the cars, more importantly, the trucks, they ride around in the ride of a lifetime. The Chevrolet trucks at Bristol Motor Speedway, those are provided by Champion Chevrolet, and then they turn around and sell those week after next at a discount price because they are slightly used, haven't had very little mileage put on them, driving to the track and then driving around the track and park them up there for the week for folks to see and touch and smell and all that. Then they bring them back and then they discount them. Slightly used pickup trucks that they'll showcase and feature. We'll tell you more about that on Thursday when we're there. So anyway, we're out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. We'll rejoin you tomorrow live from, we'll join you live tomorrow from Max Medicine Mart. Till then, as always, we wrap up show number 725. Win or lose, be a good sport. So long, everybody.